Oh, friends, family, foes, men, women, and undecided, welcome. This is not the Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Ellen, Jimmy Oprah, Jimmy Trevor No Laughs, or Sorry Not Laughing, SNL. No, this is The Right Show. You're tuning in at the right place at the right time. This is live. This is happening right here, right now, which is why I can go like this and put Daniel Roberto's comment on the screen, who says, "Yes, I finally caught it in time." An interactive talk show is what we need right now. This is not just a little podcast. This is a support group for normal people. If you like what you see, put a little tip in the bucket. That's called a super chat or stars on Facebook. We're going live on 3 platforms, Rockfin, Facebook, and YouTube at the same time. And then I'll pull out the audio and we'll put this on podcasting this Sunday. So if you're listening to this, you're like, oh my gosh, I missed the live. Yeah, it was last Wednesday. What happened, bro? But you're here now, and today is going to be one heck of a show. We will talk about cackling Kamala Harris. We're going to watch Joe Biden bumble and stumble his way through a speech. And most importantly, we're going to cover something that just happened right when I logged in. The juice is loose. Jussie Smollet has worked his gay magic once again, and he is out of prison. It's all happening now. Episode 54, The Right Show. Gotta love it. Like I said, support group for normal people. Welcoming all of you. Our subscribers have gone up. We're at 341,000. Thank you so much for making that happen. I want to know, where are you from and what is your favorite military vehicle? Think about it. That could be the water vehicles, the aircraft, or the land vehicles. Go ahead and put that in the comments. We'll learn a little bit about you. And by putting where you're from, it helps me decide where I need to tour next. I just did a weekend in Raleigh, Phoenix, and Las Vegas. I thought I would show you what 72 hours in the life of a half Persian comedian looks like. Are you ready? Take a look. They try to say it's Moezy. I'm like, nope, it's Moezy.
Moezy. Moezy.
Yep.
Say it like that.
I know when I see it. Last night. No problem.
Background, I got the happy birthday and a brick wall. Everything I demanded this year. Thank you, Damien. Birthday, dear Susie. Happy birthday to you. Yeah! Doesn't matter. Woo! She's angry.
This guy just put his hand in my face and fell asleep with it there. Really, dude?
So there you go. That was crazy. I got to tell you, never been to Raleigh in my life. Thank you all for coming. We packed it out. It was so fun. I didn't know. There could have been 10 people there, and they said, you're not welcome back, but thank you for coming. No, they said, you're welcome back. We're looking at new dates. North Carolina, that's what's up. South Carolina, I want you to get me there next. Then I went over to a birthday party in Phoenix, which was just as fun. Small backyard, got to know the people. Very cool. And then went to Las Vegas. I saw little baby Reno. That's the name of the boxer. His name is Reno. He's in Las Vegas. Very confusing. And after he fell asleep, I felt like going out that night. Carl Cox, legendary DJ. We made it happen. Oh, yeah. And that's what you saw in that video. It looks like you guys liked it. 72 hours. No wonder I'm so tired. Look at my eyes. I'm not just half Persian. I'm exhausted. Okay? A lot of fun answers for what your favorite military vehicle is. A lot of people put tanks, subs, Humvees. I loved it all. Keep putting them. I'll keep checking as I go. Next up, Denver, Delaware, Oxnard, and Irvine were added. I saw one of you put in the comments here from Connecticut. We got Connecticut there too. So let's take a look together. at the tour dates. We do this once a week just so you guys know where I am. This is for the podcasters. I'll read it. Ogden, Utah, University of Delaware, Naples, Tampa, those are Florida, Hartford, Manhattan, Denver, Colorado, Oxnard, Irvine, Huntington Beach, Boca Raton, Lake Park, Florida, Albany, Phoenix, Dallas, Texas, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Other than that, if you want a private event, you can make that happen. I'll be giving away 4 free tickets to Ogden, Naples, and Hartford. All you got to do is email me, info@kvonComedy.com. Everyone who emails me will get 1 free ticket. That's how I show love back to you for supporting me, and we keep it going like recycling. Now let's start with the nitty-gritty of The Right Show. Breaking news, the juice is loose. I had this whole show prepared for you from the last 2 days, and just now when I sat down on my computer, we get this horrible news. Jussie Smollet has been released from jail pending his appeal. Heaven forbid he has to face the music for the crimes he caused. Now you can see why people pretend to be victims and mention their minority status all day long. All these people think they've done something great for civil rights. We've helped a black man. We helped a gay man. We helped a man of a man of a... The bottom line is you helped a criminal man get away with the crime that you've been trying to help him get away with for the last 2 years. Now, I want to show you what Jussie Smollet's sister wrote, okay? She's intelligent enough. Journey Smollett, actress of some sort, entertainer, never heard of her, but a lot of people, obviously millions of people know her. She's very famous on Instagram. Free Jussie. Why? Leftists are putting all their efforts behind getting this guy free as if it's like our moral duty. We have to do it. Why? She writes, and this is a great insight into their mentality. Black Americans are incarcerated in state prisons at nearly 5 times the rate of white Americans. Jussie is innocent. And you don't even have to believe in his innocence to believe he should be set free. Okay. That's what we call a kanene. Because Jussie was found guilty by a jury of his peers, he was given a very light sentence by a judge, 150 days in prison. That's very light. And here's how I can prove it's a light prison sentence. If a white man went to the police in Chicago and said there was 2 blacks that attacked me, they beat me up, they said this is Obama country, they're obviously some sort of in a gang or a part of a bigger group, please go find them, and then went on TV, got Kamala Harris to tweet about it, got Joe Biden to tweet about it, they got Nancy Pelosi, every Democrat all the way up the chain saying we need to end our racism, we need to end our supremacy. And then it turned out that white man was lying and falsely blaming 2 blacks. I want you to put in the comments, what would happen to the white man who falsely blamed 2 African Americans for beating him up in Chicago? I mean, think of the consequences if the police rolled up on 2 black people that night and found them and they did not have a good alibi. And they're resisting and fighting it. What does that progress to? What would be the end result of sending police, armed police, on a wild goose chase to find 2 black Obama supporters? It would be the biggest punishment you have ever seen in the history of the United States of America. The death penalty would be on the table. Probably couldn't get it in Illinois. I'm willing to bet he would lose the ability to go on Twitter ever again in his life, Instagram, YouTube, podcast, Facebook. He would lose every sponsorship, every chance to act. He would lose his credit card. He would lose the ability to buy a home, get a loan, function in polite society. Let's see what you guys think in the comments. Terry Kemper says the white dude would get lynched by a Democratic mob. Christopher believes he would get 5 years, which is 4.5 more years than Jussie. Lana says for sure jail. Now we ask, would prominent celebrities and politicians beg for this man to get released? Would the FBI or the special counsel turn and look the other way as long as possible, like they did for Jussie, who should have been in prison for the last 1.5 years? That's right. They would be in jail getting rotted. Some people believe they would be executed, and saying executed is not a stretch, because if the court didn't execute that person, he would find that fate in the prison system. So it is unbelievable And it is shocking that he is out, but I thought I would share that with you. Breaking news only on this show. That's how it goes down. Now, this was a great comment I had received from one of my fans, and I wanted this to be the comment of the week. Very funny, and I really liked it. Chris Trudell wrote, Jussie played that game, pinned the tail on the honky, and lost. Yes, but unfortunately, now we have lost because he did pin the tail on the honky, and he is now free, out of jail, out on bail, fresh out of jail, California dreaming, because he's the gay Tupac. So there you have it. It's a little disheartening to know that the rules don't apply for certain people. And I think Jussie Smollett's explanation is very telling. There's already too many black people in jail, so we can't put more guilty black people in jail. Do what's right, even if what he did was wrong. But here is how Jussie acted in prison, which is when he was sentenced. And it's crazy that all this stuff is working. They're using mentally ill. He's having problems. Of course he's mentally ill, but he's also guilty. Let's see what Jussie did just 4 days ago when he was sentenced to a very light prison sentence. Clown Town, go.
Hey, it is the most famous half Persian comedian in the world coming to you from the airport, and just found out that Jussie Smollet has been sentenced to jail. And wait till you see his behavior in the courtroom. Watch this.
The damage you've done to yourself is way beyond anything else that can happen to you. You are now a permanently convicted felon. You've embarrassed your valuable friends in high places, the elected public officials, people in the media. You've embarrassed them. You've become toxic in your own workplace. Your career future is uncertain at very best. It was really on a rocket ship to success, and now you've turned yourself into riches to rags, and it's so unfortunate. Your very name has become an adverb for lying, and I cannot imagine what could be worse than that. You let that dark, narcissistic, selfish, and arrogant side come out.
Can you believe in America you can't even fake your own race hoax without getting punished for it? Oh.
Here's your sentence. I'm sentencing you to 30 months felony probation, and the probation is going to be to this court. You're going to be allowed to travel wherever you want. You do not have to live in the state of Illinois. You can report by phone. I know that if you're going to try to make a living and do some of the things you do, you may have to go to other places, New York and Los Angeles. You can do those things. You will pay restitution to the city of Chicago in the amount of $120,106. You are fined $25,000, which is the maximum fine. And you will spend the first 150 days of your sentence in the Cook County Jail. And that will start today, right here, right now.
No, I would just like to say to Your Honor that I am not suicidal. That's what I would like to say.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this. And I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that. I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time. I am not suicidal.
Okay. Mr. Uche, let me inquire, are there any post-sentencing motions you care to present? Court is adjourned.
I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. And I am innocent. I could have said that I was guilty a long time ago.
Unbelievable. So obviously that's a little dated. He said, I am not suicidal. I did this to put my fist in the face of black oppression. Well, you really did a good job because there is no black oppression and you have to keep faking it, like Colin Kaepernick, who compared the NFL to slavery. He says the NFL combine is like slave trade. And then a year later, he's trying to get back in the NFL. So I guess he's, in his words, trying to become a slave. Well, Jussie knew that there's no black oppression. Nobody's trying to hunt down blacks in Chicago. So he had to kind of make that happen and got caught because he wrote a personal check to 2 Nigerian brothers who he attended the gay bathhouse with. And that is why they realized, ooh, this was easy to solve. The problem with this case is, what if they had not solved it so easily? What if Jussie had just been a little more intelligent? Then we would all be suffering and being told we're racist and white supremacist. And you know that can't be true because I'm half Persian. Yeah. HPLM, baby. I'm sticking my face in the oppression of half Persians around the world. Oh, if it couldn't get any worse, now we have Kamala Harris, who continues to cackle. She doesn't understand her job. She's never been good at it. They always send her on a job that they know she'll fail at. So when there's trouble at the border, send Kamala. She'll get nothing done. And now they've sent her to Ukraine, which tells you and shows you they don't take that very seriously either. Here is Kamala Harris doing what she does best, making a joke out of refugees, the situation in Ukraine, the war. And when they ask her, are you going to offer help? She does a little rhyme she got from a little bathroom plaque that you can buy at Target. It goes something like this.
People always say, Kvon, don't talk about politics. But I've never heard anyone say, hey, politician, don't do comedy. I wish they did here. Check out Kamala Harris trying to make the worst joke ever while there's a serious topic, refugees, being discussed. Here it is.
And I'm wondering what the United States is going to do more specifically to set up a permanent infrastructure. And relatedly, is the United States willing to make a specific allocation for Ukrainian refugees? And for President Duda, I wanted to know if you think, and if you asked the United States to specifically accept more refugees.
Okay. A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Okay, I can first.
That's her answer to the refugee crisis. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Unbelievable, folks. But at this point, it is very believable. Now, if that doesn't make you depressed, don't worry. I have more for you. Now, why is Kamala laughing and cackling, and why is Kamala so bad at her job? Because she's an affirmative action hire, meaning she wasn't hired because she riveted the nation with her speech the way Barack Obama did. Even if you didn't agree with him, you could tell he had that pattern. I believe we can do things nobody else can. And we will. You know, so you're like, okay, I can see that preacher pattern, that fake, because he didn't speak like that in Hawaii, but he learned that in Chicago. Okay. Or did she create a business and do so well that people go, we want her to run something else? No, Kamala didn't rise to any level of professionalism through any expertise. In fact, she lowered herself and kept getting promoted. So why was she picked? She didn't even do well in California. She was never big name senator of any sort, because leftists think we are all exactly equal. That's the big problem here. Leftists think there is no difference between anyone. Nobody has any special skills. No one's better than anyone else. We're all equal. Where does that mentality come from? What does it sound like where we're all the same? It sounds like Marxism, communism. We're all just cogs in a wheel. For vice president, we can put a black woman. Which one? Any of them. Just get one there. That'll look good. And then next time, let's do a Japanese little person in a wheelchair. Why? Because we've never had that yet. Are they good at foreign policy? It doesn't matter. We're all the same at foreign policy. We've never had that. And eventually you work your way through the totem pole of victims just so America can clap, because when leftists are in charge, they are casting for a TV show. They are not leading the nation, and they're not good at it. That's why Kamala cackles. Does it make sense? Simply put, they believe any average person can do anything because we're all exactly the same. And their big point is, well, we just want to show little boys and girls that they can grow up and have that job too. I have never needed to see a bad half Persian president to know that one day I can become a half Persian president. In fact, it would cheapen my life if I'm working hard politically to be the first half Persian president and they give it to a half Persian woman just to clap and say they did it, and then she fails. Because not only do I not get to be the first and I earned it, but now there's a stain on our reputation of how stupid we look too. So ladies, I want to ask you, once we put a woman as vice president, are any of you inspired now? Has it changed your life for the better in any way? Have you sat down now and thought, wow, I now have a weight of the world off my shoulders and know that I too can be vice president? Or did you know all along that you could have been vice president, and has it cheapened your endeavor that you were going to succeed one day? I think little black, half Indian, half Jamaican girls have lost the ability to say they were the first valid vice president because Kamala has ruined it. Do you agree? If so, put it in the comments. I would love to hear your take on it. We'll be right back with more. All right, as if Kamala isn't cheapening the opportunity enough, we have a guy, and it doesn't matter if he's black or white. He happens to be senile, demented, very stupid, and his race is the least important part of all of that. But once again, he is a white guy. His name is Joe Obama Biden, and we're going to catch up with him and see how he's doing, because when you have a vice president that is that ineffective and that unintelligent, you think, well, at least the president can kind of carry most of the water for that dead weight. Well, unfortunately, we are in double trouble.
Wow, you're not going to believe this. Joe Brandon just admitted that the First Lady's husband has COVID. Wait a minute, that's him. So when they tried to correct him, he got totally confused, and it looked something like this.
There's been a little change in the arrangement of who's on the stage because of the First Lady's husband contracting COVID. But look at this room and what you see. Pardon? That's right. She's fine. It's me. That's not together. The second lady, the first gentleman. How about that? Anyway.
Now, a lot of people think he made a mistake, but I think he was trying to let us in on something. I think Joe Biden might have just come out of the closet, because he keeps calling the guy the first gentleman. The first gentleman got sick. The first gentleman got sick. There is a chance, it's a little bit of a conspiracy theory, but maybe Joe Biden is now gay. And it can't be that hard. He can't remember which way to walk into the White House. He can't remember if his wife is his sister. Why not forget which gender you go for while you're at it? This is the final few years of his endeavors, so we can go from there. Now, I thought this was hilarious. Dolly Parton bows out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, meaning they had nominated her. Some people felt she was worthy, and she said, you know what? I don't feel like this is a good idea. I don't want to be the reason the votes are split. I don't want to cause controversy, so I will respectfully bow out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She goes, now, I hope to one day write a rock and roll album and then be considered again if I'm worthy. How classy is that? Dolly Parton. The point being, she has never done rock and roll, so to speak, so she doesn't feel she belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She's known for country. Here, NBC News, far-left radical organization, writes, Dolly Parton's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame tweet got it right. So the left is really excited when someone who is Caucasian, country singer, decides not to participate in something, decides to gracefully bow out, step aside. My question is this: how come Jay-Z, LL Cool J, Biggie, Pac, and a handful of others did not gracefully bow out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I mean, are they rock and roll? Not at all. Maybe they came out with like one song where it's kind of a mesh little rock with their rapping. And I love them as artists, and they should be in the Rap Hall of Fame. But they do not belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, not even for a little bit. But when Dolly bows out, they go, you got it right, girl. Thank you. Thank you for doing the right thing. When these guys went in, I did not see a single article from NBC going, Jay-Z, LL Cool J, Biggie, and Pac need to do the right thing. They need to say we're not rock and roll. Nope, because it's not woke to do that. By the way, if you want to entertain yourself, read Dolly Parton's quotes. She's got a couple hundred of them. They're witty and funny. She is kind of like the Yogi Berra of our time. I'm going to read a couple to you. I was the first woman to burn my bra. It took the fire department 4 days to put it out. Good one. Because she's got big. Yeah. Next, after you reach a certain age, they think you're over. Well, I will never be over. I'll be making records if I have to sell them out of the trunk of my car. I've done that in the past, and I'll do it again. That's kind of like me. We'll do that. I'll be there. I'll be right there with you, Dolly. Here's one. Don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. That was money. Next one. I look like a woman, but I think like a man. I've done business with men who think I'm as silly as I look. By the time they realize I'm not, I've got the money and I'm gone. How about this one? It costs a lot of money to look this cheap. A lot of you women could use that. Kim Kardashian could use that. She wrote this one. I'm not gonna limit myself just because people won't accept the fact that I can do something else too. Hey, I like that one. Because I do comedy, I do news reporting, I do acting, so I am not gonna limit myself for you. Perfect. And let's see if there's another good one. We'll end on that. Here's a good one. I'm not offended by all of the dumb blonde jokes because I know I'm not dumb. And I also know I am not blonde. Very good, very good. I love that. So thank you, Dolly Parton, for your class, your years and years of amazing quotes. You are one of a kind. It is now time for a very fun segment. You're not going to want to miss this. Do not change that YouTube channel. It's coming right after this. So I felt I should write for the Babylon Bee. Some of you agreed, so I made a little writing exercise where just off the top of my head, I came up with as many Babylon Bee-ish headlines, if you will, and I want to run them by you to see if you think I should write for the Babylon Bee with insight like this. Let's show the first one. Here we go. Uber now offering piggyback rides to help drivers save on fuel costs. Someone said, no, don't say Uber, say Lyft. That does make a lot more sense. We go to the next one. See if you like this one. And we'll vote which one you like the best when it's all done. White House strategically attempts to also blame Biden's childhood stutter on Russia's invading Ukraine. You see, because they're going back in time and blaming things that have nothing to do with a childhood stutter on Putin. So that one came from. Let's go to the next one. In a politically savvy move, Biden leans in and blames Brandon for all his policy failures. Pin it on Brandon. Biden doesn't know who that Brandon guy is, but he sure is ready to hand the blame over. Jussie Smollet cries racism upon discovering white sheets in his prison cell. Ooh, that's tough. Who would put those white sheets there? That is obvious racism. No two ways about it. Here's another juicy one for the juicy file. After courtroom outburst, judge considers stiffening penalty by sending Smollet to a female prison. Ooh! Yikes. A lot of my fans, I posted that. They go, no, send him to the men's prison where he's going to get you know what from Bubba. I was like, that's what he wants. He's looking for a foot long. The whole point of my Babylon Bee-ish type post was the true punishment is sending Jussie to the women's. Never mind. I can't explain to some of you people. My goodness. And the final one I came up with. Some of you may or may not know Naomi, Osaka, lost a tennis match. And one person in the audience of about 1,000 said, boo, you suck, Naomi. She crumbled. She resorted to tears. And she said she did not really like that at all. It affected her mental health. And you guys need to be a lot nicer. So I came up with this one. Let's hope Naomi Osaka never tries stand-up comedy. Because if that hurt, girl, you are never going to make it in the comedy circuit. We'll be right back with the final thing that'll make you laugh and smile. All right, let's catch up on some of the comments, see what you like. A lot of you like that one. Which one was your favorite? Let's vote on the winner. Now, remember, we're going to run through them all. First one was Uber offering piggyback rides to save on fuel costs. Second one was Joe Biden's White House attempts to blame Biden's childhood stutter on Russia invading Ukraine. Number 3, in a politically savvy move, Biden leans in and blames Brandon for all the policy failures. Number 4, Jussie Smollet cries racism upon finding a white sheet in his prison cell. Number 5, and please put the number you like the best. After courtroom outburst, judge stiffens penalty by sending Jussie to female prison. And number 6, Naomi Osaka, do not ever try stand-up comedy. Can't wait to see which ones you guys like the best. Put it in, and I will post the winner when we get those results. Terry Kemper, thank you for a $5 tip in the bucket. I appreciate it. I'm going to put that money towards advertising my Turning Point USA comedy gig in Delaware, home of Sleepy Dummy. Now let's end on something cool, not political, and it just shows how many different sides of the coin we can laugh about. Here we are with a little sneak peek of my movie, Funny Thing About Love. If you haven't seen it, Funny Thing About Love is on Apple. It's on Amazon Movies, and you can stream it on a few other platforms. Here is a little sneak peek of my romantic comedy acting skills. Enjoy. Did I just see your grandpa shoving an entire plate of cookies down the front of his pants?
Probably.
Well, that's as authentic as it gets.
For the Banks family.
What's a guy got to do to get one of those? Where's that one guy who followed you here?
That guy is a morning person, so he's in bed.
Lulu's. Reminds me of our first date.
You mean the time that you asked for my phone number at Charlie and Annie's wedding, but did not call me for 3 years? That time?
Yeah, that's the one.
What took you so long?
Well, if you think about it, we were basically related at that point. So.
Gross. Stop that.
Lulu's did have amazing pie, though.
I wouldn't know because you always ate mine.
Well, you know what they say. If there's pumpkin pie on the table, you should eat it all.
I think Grandpa Joe is the only person who would say that.
Exactly, and that man is a dessert genius. And I also think you should take your time if that person might be forever. I'm gonna take a drink of this and kill the awkward silence.
Good idea.
So good.
I'm gonna go to bed.
We never should have broken up.
What?
It was stupid of me. I thought I was doing the chivalrous thing by letting you follow your dreams. But the truth is, I was scared. Our paths were diverging. I panicked. We should have just made it work.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I need you to know.
Luke, you really hurt me. I had to move on. I'm with that guy now.
I know, I figured if we're gonna spend the whole week together, we should take that elephant in the room for a ride, you know? Look, I'm really proud of you, Sam. I'm proud of who you are, I'm proud of who you've become, and I'm happy for you. I'm even happy for that guy. Even if I still have feelings for...
Feelings for who?
Where did you get a cookie?
Oh. Grandpa Joe said I could have it as long as I kept quiet.
It's got a ton of gluten.
I know, but I really want Grandpa Joe to like me, so I took it. Ooh, I will have one of those.
This is hot chocolate.
I will have a water then.
Okay.
Okay. What were you guys talking about? Who has feelings for who?
No, I was just doing a new bit I'm working on. It's about the ex-girlfriend and how the rebound guy never ends up working out.
Are you okay?
You okay there, Esquire?
Yeah. Oh, that is so true. So true.
Well, I think I'll go take one more shower and get out of here before my comedy actually kills someone. Don't stay up too late, you two.
Right. Oh, man. Genius.
Genius! Hey, I hope you liked that. Obviously, it's just a little sneak peek, but you got to watch the whole movie, leave it a good review so that more people can find it, and then I'll act in more romantic comedies, action movies. I want to shoot some zombies. And I want to make people laugh, so let's do it all. Folks, thank you. We've survived The Right Show. This is episode 54. It's a year and one episode anniversary. Thank you for tuning in. We hang out on Locals for just a little bit after this. Ask me anything you want about the movies, about Jussie, about how we do the show, what kind of lighting I have, where did I buy this tapestry. You can ask whatever you want. I will see you next week. Same-ish time, same-ish place, on the same-ish social media platforms, as long as they don't ban me for being too right.